There were various measures of money in medieval England. A pound sterling was worth 20 shillings, and a shilling was worth 12 pence, so 1 pound was worth equivalent to 240 pence. The letter D was used to denote pence in reference to the Roman word for coin, denarius. Medieval money was therefore expressed as pounds, shillings, and pence, or LSD. In 1344, Edward III attempted to revive the use of gold coinage by minting a gold noble worth 6 shillings 8 pence. Another accounting measure of money commonly used was the mark, which was worth 2/3 of a pound, or 13 shillings and 4 pence. Debts and payments to the crown often appeared measured in marks. The value of the gold noble was carefully set so that it was worth 1/3 of a pound and a half a mark. But what exactly could these denominations of money buy someone in medieval England? Here's an introduction to the use of cash and currency in England's Middle Ages. If you haven't already, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Despite these complex measures of money, the only coin most people would ever have seen during the Middle Ages in England was a silver penny. There was no shilling coin or pound coin. A gold noble was beyond the reach of all but the wealthiest elite. In the early 13th century, King John's broken relationship with the Pope made him incredibly wealthy as he gathered the church's income alongside his own. He had to transport and store chests and barrels packed with chinking silver penny coins and would lose a vast amount in the wash on the east coast of England in 1216. During the Middle Ages, a laborer could expect to earn £2 a year, which meant 2 pence per day. In 1351, Parliament set the wages for various jobs in the face of rising wages during the Black Death, which made labor more scarce, and forced up wages. Edward III's government set payments at pre-pandemic levels. Haymaking could pay no more than 1 pence a day. Reaping would pay 2 pence a day. Coopers, or barrel makers, would receive 3 pence a day. Carpenters were limited to a wage of 4 pence a day, masons to 5 pence a day. To provide some context, a knight could expect to receive 4 shillings, or 48 pence a day. A modest perennial income was around £600 a year, or 300 times that of a laborer. Good wine was 8 pence per gallon in 1331, though cheaper alternatives were available if you weren't fussy. Ale was around 1 to 1.5 pence a gallon in the 14th century, so you could get around 8 pints for a day's wages. Your medieval penny would get you 2 pounds of cheese in the late 12th century, or 2 dozen eggs in the 14th century, or 2 chickens, also in the 14th century. A goose would set you back 6 pence, though, at 1375 price. A sheep could be 17 pence in the mid-14th century, a pig 24 pence in 1338, and a cow 72 pence in the late 13th century, rising to 108 pence by the mid-13th century, making them incredibly expensive for the most. 1 penny would also get you a pillow in 1457, but a towel would cost 6 pence in the mid-13th century. A chair cost 3 pence in 1457, a table twice that in the same year, and a bucket the same at 6 pence, also in 1457. If you wanted to be able to see after the sun had gone down, a tallow candle cost 1.5 pence per pound in the 15th century, so you would want to use it sparingly. A university education would cost around £8 a year in the late 14th century, putting it beyond the reach of most. Books could cost around £1 each in 1397. Even some everyday items seem expensive. A linen shirt, worn by most under their clothes, cost 12 pence in the early 14th century, several days' wages for most. If you were looking to take up a trade to earn more money, buying the equipment you would need might well put that dream beyond reach. A spinning wheel was around 10 pence in 1457. A blacksmith's anvil cost £1, or 240 pence, and the bellows to go with it would set you back another 30 shillings, or 360 pence. A cheap hammer retailed at 8 pence, while the same money could buy 2 chisels, all in 1514. Even a spade would cost you 3 pence, more than a day's wages for most, in 1457. All of that was without paying rent for somewhere to live. A cottage cost 60 pence a year to rent. A craftsman's house was around 240 pence a year, and a wealthy merchant's home could be £2 or £3 a year. Buying your cottage would set you back £2, all in the 14th century, a year's wages for a laborer, which actually doesn't seem bad compared to today's house prices. Many of those occupying the lowest position in society, serfs, were required to spend some of their time, particularly around harvest, working for the lord of the manor for free. This limited the days available to gain wages for the family, meaning that what could be earned had to go even further. If you were required to fight, there were times when a stock of weapons was kept at the parish church for the use of those called up. Trying to equip yourself could be expensive. The longbow was a staple of the English medieval army and could cost around 1 shilling or 12 pence, depending on the quality. A cheap sword would set you back 6 pence in the 1340s. Protecting yourself was infinitely more expensive. A mail shirt was valued at 100 shillings or 1200 pence in the 12th century. A Milanese suit of armor was an eye-watering £8, 6 shillings and 8 pence in 1441. Some protection could be afforded by the kind of leather armor found in a merchant's possession in the 13th century that had cost 5 shillings or 60 pence, more than a month's wages for most. So a sword, longbow, and leather armor could come to 78 pence or 40 days' wages for a laborer, and that's without any arrows, at around 12 pence for 2 dozen. Buying many things was a huge investment for most working people, making career changes or social mobility an unreachable dream. Making do and mending was important, and handing on the tools or possessions one did have become imperative to offer the next generation the chance of a future.